Juliette Goodrich, CBS News Bay Area at 6. This is CBS News Bay Area with Reed Cowan.
January 6th committee recommending that former President Donald Trump be charged with crimes in connection with the Capitol assault. We're tracking what comes next. And parts of the Bay Area shrouded in fog, others dealing with unhealthy air. We'll look at what's behind all of that. And then sharing a holiday tradition with hardworking neighbors. How hundreds of your Bay Area friends and volunteers are spreading joy one delicious tamale at a time. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. So let's start with those new developments in the January 6th investigation. Right now, let's go live to Capitol Hill, where the House Select Committee just voted to recommend that the Justice Department charge former President Donald Trump with inciting the riot, among other alleged crimes. Deborah Alfarone reports from Capitol Hill.
He summoned a mob to Washington and told them to fight like hell.
In an unprecedented step, the House Select Committee investigating January 6th voted to recommend the Justice Department file criminal charges against former President Donald Trump for his role in the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
The whole purpose and obvious effect of Trump's scheme were to obstruct, influence, and impede this official proceeding, the central moment for the lawful transfer of power.
The charges: obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting or assisting an insurrection were unveiled as the panel held its final public meeting.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
The DOJ, which is conducting its own investigation, makes the ultimate call. The committee played its interview with longtime Trump aide Hope Hicks. She said she told him he should tell supporters to be peaceful.
That it was my view that it was important that the president put out some kind of message in advance of the event.
During the 18-month investigation, the committee interviewed more than 1,000 witnesses and poured over more than 1 million documents. Members unanimously voted to approve the final report and release it on Wednesday.
The committee also laid out evidence of a pressure campaign mounted by the former president threatening state officials.
President Trump repeatedly attacked state and local officials who refused to do his bidding, as well as local elections workers who he baselessly accused of fraud.
Many Republicans slammed the committee as partisan and have promised their own counter report. The committee is recommending criminal referrals for Trump's lawyer, John Eastman, and others, as well as ethics investigations into 4 members of Congress. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Thank you, Deborah. All right, so let's come home right now. First alert weather. This was the scene in Orinda, a foggy start to the day there. Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan has more on that. Plus, some air quality concerns, Paul.
Yeah, kind of mixed together, the smoke and fog, both. It is genuine smog. Visibilities have improved. So normal unobstructed visibility is 10 miles. Really reduced visibility is less than 1 mile. We're kind of in between. So the fog has transitioned to low cloud cover, but it's still out there, especially for the North Bay and inland in the East Bay, where temperatures have only reached the low to mid 40s this afternoon. It is cold out there, and temperatures around the bay, along the coast in the Santa Clara Valley, also well below what's normal for this time of year. And the air quality has just been flat out bad, at least in the moderate category. A lot of orange dots on the map indicating unhealthy for sensitive groups. Air quality, Santa Clara Valley's had some of the worst air quality all day, trending towards that flat out unhealthy range. And tomorrow is another spare the air alert day. Worst air quality likely to be in the North Bay valleys and the Santa Clara Valley, but there are going to be times, even when the majority of the air quality sensors are reporting moderate air quality, there are going to be some unhealthy for sensitive groups readings mixed in. So another day to try to limit any outdoor exertion. And of course, please do not add more smoke to the atmosphere by using the wood-burning fireplaces and stoves. We'll take a look ahead to a warmer forecast for Christmas weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
I actually cursed at the temperatures this morning and maybe shook a finger too.
Okay.
All right, Paul, thanks.
We'll forgive you.
All right, well, the results are in after Twitter CEO Elon Musk himself polled people asking if he should step down. A clear majority who responded there on social media said, yes, you should. Our Brian Hackney talked to CNET's executive director about the ongoing shakeups at Twitter.
Elon Musk's leadership and time at Twitter has felt chaotic, erratic, retaliatory, and has been difficult even for seasoned tech journalists like CNET's executive editor, Ian Scherr, to discern the method in the apparent madness.
It does seem a little weird how he's been going about running this company. And I'm not alone here, right? We're not alone. There are a lot of people who are questioning the methods to the madness, as it feels.
The latest shakeup was Twitter announcing a new policy that prevents users from sharing links to other social media platforms, saying in a post it would remove accounts created solely for the purpose of promoting other social platforms.
He is reacting a lot to what's going on. And so him deciding, okay, I'm not going to allow you to put any social links as a here's how to get me in your profile. I get it, right? But I think it speaks to kind of how insecure maybe he feels.
This has some users worried that all cross-platform promotion would be banned, but Musk later clarified in a tweet that, quote, casually sharing occasional links is fine. To add to the confusion, Twitter's official account then deleted all posts it had made about not allowing cross-platform promotion. All of this comes after Musk banned more than 25 Twitter accounts this week, some for what Musk described as doxing. Others were high-profile national journalists who have been covering Musk's takeover of Twitter, but he lifted the journalist suspension on Friday after he drafted a poll to his followers asking them if he should reinstate the accounts. The majority of respondents said yes. Scherr says Musk is taking the Silicon Valley's disrupt and innovate ethos to the extreme.
Silicon Valley has a history of these kind of brilliant jerks, right, that a lot of people have seen create massive success. That said, there are a lot of experiences where we've seen that this approach to management does not go well.
Okay, so we're following this one closely. So far, Musk has not responded publicly or otherwise about the results of that poll. He said earlier he would abide by them, whatever they may be, but he also said there's nobody else who wants the job of leading the company. Psychedelic drugs could soon be decriminalized in California. Today, the state Senate introduced a bill that would do just that for possession and use of plant-based psychedelics. Our Ann Makovic has more on the push for acceptance here. Hi, Ann.
Now, Reed, this bill is backed by mental health professionals and veterans who have seen the benefits of things like magic mushrooms, some calling psychedelic use the most important breakthrough in mental health treatment in our lifetimes. State Senator Scott Wiener advocated for the bill at the San Francisco War Memorial today. He referenced research saying that psychedelics are instrumental in healing PTSD, anxiety, depression, and opioid addiction. He was joined by veterans who shared personal stories of how psychedelic drugs saved their lives. Now, this bill does not legalize the sale of these drugs. It only protects users from prosecution.
We know that the war on drugs has been a complete failure, and criminalizing drug use and possession accomplishes absolutely nothing.
There is opposition to the bill from law enforcement. The District Attorneys Association said it wants to see more evidence that these drugs are as safe as marijuana. They say hallucinations can be dangerous to users and bystanders alike. And this bill would only decriminalize natural psychedelics like magic mushrooms and not things like acid or LSD. Voters in Oregon and Colorado have already approved decriminalization. A similar bill, though, has already failed in the legislature here. Reed.
And thank you. So let's talk your health now. The most recent COVID numbers from late last week show 11% test positivity here in California. And workers who catch COVID on the job, you can no longer be guaranteed paid sick leave. In fact, the Division of Occupational Safety and Health, or OSHA, they voted to end that rule, saying the virus is so widespread that it is next to impossible to figure out if somebody got it on the job or not. The deadline to claim COVID sick pay is December 31st. Our Food for Bay Area Families Drive continues with just a few more days until Christmas, and we couldn't do it without the help of our community partners. I was recently in Concord to highlight one organization making a huge difference. Contra Costa and Solano Food Bank. And you know, we are seeing people who are living this value. We need each other on this planet, do we not? And I want to introduce you to some great people who know the truth of that. They're with Travis Credit Union. Hello, my friend. Why are you here?
Well, Travis Credit Union has been serving our community since 1951. We're all about people helping people. That's why we do what we do. And since our partnership has started in 1997, we've been able to raise over $160,000 and 142,000 pounds of food for this cause. And thank you to our membership for that.
And doing it together means what in your offices and in your facilities?
Oh, it's a feel good. It makes our teams proud to do the work. It makes our members proud that they're able to make a difference in the communities that we serve. So very proud of the teams that we have in our branches.
And you know, donations big or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we all step forward and do something, right?
Absolutely. And our members just love walking in with their bags of food, putting it in the bin. It brings a lot of joy to them.
All right. And you go home feeling what when you see that?
Oh, I feel amazed. I mean, it's great to see how Travis Credit Union is really out there for the community. And in the future, I look forward to serving Food Bank as well.
I love that you use the words out there, because I'm going to get out there right now and get out of the way. We have our friend Cassidy with the Food Bank. What will this check do for the people you serve?
Because the Food Bank can provide 2 meals with every $1 donated, this check itself is over 4,000 meals to our community. And on top of that, we appreciate all of the food drives and the volunteering with Travis Credit Union.
All right, it feels good. All right, so if you want to have that feeling as you go into the holidays, go to our website, kpix.com/give, or you can go to the barcode at the bottom of your screen and find a way that you can be a part of what it is to be a family. That's what community is. Hey, the Food Bank of Contra Costa and Solano has a generous donor right now who's currently matching every contribution you make. So here's how it works. Every dollar raised will now provide 4 meals for the community. They'll double the value of that. Make sure you take advantage of that. We also want to remind you about our Food for Bay Area Families special tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Gather your family around. It is feel-good TV, heart-forward television. You can see all of the hard work and volunteerism that people are doing all over this beautiful Bay Area to give back for the holidays and connect to community. Still ahead, a labor of love. Why dozens of Bay Area volunteers are making thousands of these delicious tamales. Plus, Northern California's butterfly population, guess what? The news is good, it's bouncing back. This species right here, once on the brink of extinction, is now looking to make a comeback.
The pandemic affected all of us, but there's a lasting impact no one's talking about.
This is absolutely a crisis.
And thousands of families are suffering.
With the trial never happening, it's kept us from moving forward.
Lines for vaccines, replaced by lines of people waiting for justice.
We just consistently denied the opportunity to prove her innocence.
Are you angry about that?
I am very angry, sir.
Justice has not been served.
Justice delayed is
justice denied.
Look at this, a very different kind of gift wrapping going on in San Jose right now. You're looking at 100 volunteers and their friends attempting to mix, roll, cook, and bag 3,000 tamales in one day. All of these are going out to farm workers and their families for Christmas to say thank you for all the hard work. Then they'll be delivered from farm to farm in Half Moon Bay on Wednesday.
Tamales are very time-consuming to make, so that's like the last thing they're going to do after working 12 hours a day is to come home and make tamales. So they get a little bit of that Christmas Latino tradition that we're able to give them, and they're so appreciative.
Delicious, too. Last year was the first year this group got together and saw a need and stepped forward. Now they have even more volunteers that can make an even bigger impact. That's how it works. And you know, for the second year in a row, Northern California's population of monarch butterflies is bouncing back after being on the brink of extinction, my personal favorite there. Meteorologist Darren Peck visited the Monarch Butterfly Sanctuary in Pacific Grove to see how the count is now shaping up.
I've had them land on my hat. You're here long enough, you get to see them. Ah, there she goes.
So you've had him land on you like that before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. He made that moment seem like no big deal. But Paul Mary knows better than just about anybody else. Having a monarch butterfly land on you has become an exceedingly rare privilege.
In 1997, when they first counted all the western monarchs, there were 1.2 million. In 2020, there were less than 2,000.
If you just do the math on the numbers Paul gave us, that is more than a 99% decline. And it had a lot of experts concerned that by 2021, the western monarch would be extinct.
Now, how do you go from 0 here in 2020 to 13,004 last year.
Please tell us.
Lots of whoopee.
That's one obvious part of it, but it's not the whole story. Turns out the last 2 years, the weather has been very favorable for these guys. Because of climate change now, it's either way too warm when they're not expecting it or way too cold when they're not prepared for it. In addition to that, we've unwittingly destroyed most of their habitat.
They're sort of a poster child for everything that's going on in the insect world.
The bottom line on this is, if you can't find enough to eat, because the wildflowers you rely on are gone, because we've put so much other stuff there, you're not going to be able to survive the winter. Oh, what do you think?
Anywhere.
What do you think did that one in?
Starvation.
Starvation.
That's
here. The rumble from the people who are doing the counting is that the state numbers may be as high as 300,000, which would be a 50,000 plus improvement over last year. So another good year. But they're not out of the woods.
Darren Peck reporting there. Time for a first look with our weather, Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan.
Yeah, chilly temperatures across the entire Bay Area today. That fog just kind of remaining overhead as some stubborn clouds. Just kind of bleak weather to start off the week before Christmas, but we are going to see more sunshine in between those clouds on Tuesday. Also the possibility of a few showers north of the Golden Gate. We'll zoom in for a closer look at that in just a moment. As we wind the clock forward, no huge changes to the big picture pattern. Another weak system for the Bay Area is going to be aiming quite a bit of moisture towards the Pacific Northwest Thursday night into Friday. Our next chance of significant rain looks like it's going to be about 7 or 8 days in the future, probably a week from tomorrow. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and there is the possibility of a couple of showers tomorrow morning north of the Golden Gate, but you don't see anything as the sun comes up. A fair amount of cloud cover to start the day, but more of a mix of clouds and sunshine on Tuesday as opposed to the gray skies that we've seen today. Futurecast thinks the best chance of showers is going to be Tuesday afternoon, and again, it's going to be hit or miss activity. If you get some showers for the North Bay, it's not going to amount to much more than a trace of precipitation. Same thing tomorrow night into early Wednesday, and most of it as it tries to dive to the south is just going to fall apart. We'll see mostly dry conditions on Wednesday. Once again, a mix of clouds and sunshine, and a similar story on Thursday with that next weak system for us aiming its moisture towards the North Bay potentially by late Thursday into Thursday night. So those North Bay rain chances aren't going to be off the charts, but at least there's a chance as we head through the rest of this week. The rest of us are going to be staying dry, but there's that next good chance of rain for everybody by Monday night into Tuesday. That's a long way down the line, but it's been consistent. The long-range data, the 6 to 10-day outlook shows a good chance of wetter than normal conditions. Same thing for the 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us all the way into early January. We definitely need more rain, so hopefully it does actually head our way. Right now, there is that bleak look from the Mark Hopkins Hotel. Just gray, smoky skies overhead. Temperatures almost exclusively in the 40s. Normal highs are in the mid to upper 50s. The least cold spot on the map is San Jose at 51 degrees. Tonight, we're not going to drop down too much. A mix of upper 30s and low 40s to begin the day on Tuesday. Highs tomorrow with that mix of clouds and sun are going to return to what's normal for this time of year, which means mid to upper 50s pretty much across the board. Mid 50s along the coast, closer to 60 degrees in the Santa Clara Valley, just short in San Jose. Mid to upper 50s inland in the East Bay. Mid 50s around the Bay, 56 in San Francisco, 57 for Oakland, with mid to upper 50s for the North Bay as well. Just a little cooler as you go farther inland into Lake County, only low 50s there. Temperatures do warm up late this week and into Christmas weekend. In fact, we're going to be several degrees above average for both Christmas Eve on Saturday and Christmas Day on Sunday. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s, some spots in the Santa Clara Valley and inland of the North Bay, even reaching up into the upper 60s on Christmas Day, ahead of that next chance of rain, which is still just beyond the scope of the 7-day forecast.
This is the Volkswagen Red and Gold Report.
So we know the 49ers have been dealing with injuries all season long. We felt that, right? And in today's Red and Gold Report, we're going to look at a rookie running back who is coming up big for San Francisco, Jordan Mason. An undrafted rookie has run for 170 yards in the last 3 games in Thursday's win in Seattle. Look at that. Mason broke off a 55-yard run in the final minute to close the door on the Seahawks and the NFC West.
Called him Mariano Rivera. He's the closer. It was awesome. That guy runs so hard.
That's the finisher, man. Yeah, no, Jordan, he the finisher, man. You've seen the last couple of games, you come in and he's a real downhill, real tough runner, and it's nice to have some fresh legs like that come in after we've been wearing them down all the games.
And we know you're cheering there. Now's your chance to recognize your favorite 49er superfan. Get your cell phone out, scan the QR code on your screen to nominate members of the faithful. All season long, we will highlight these super fans. Still ahead, a chance encounter in a Walmart leads to a very unexpected gift.
I started filming. I wasn't even thinking. I just felt moved.
Moved to film. We're going to share an act of kindness from a customer to a worker and see how it's growing by the day. And remember, you can watch us anytime, anywhere on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. Catch all of our live newscasts, plus news and weather updates throughout the day. By the way, you can find us on the free CBS News app or on Pluto TV, channel 397.
The Red and Gold Report is sponsored by your Bay Area Volkswagen dealers.
Streaming on Paramount Plus.
We love to share stories of people who are bridge builders here in our community and across the country, people out there helping their neighbors. And today we take you to Arizona, where a shopper came across a Walmart employee who she thought could use a little bit of help. Watch.
May I ask how old you are?
82.
82. You got a cane too?
Yeah.
Don't they give you a chair?
No.
I'll get you some help, Carmen. I'm going to try my best.
I started filming. I wasn't even thinking. I just felt moved.
So the woman behind the camera was Liz Rizzo. She posted her encounter with Carmen on TikTok, and the views started to pile up. In fact, more than 11 million for the first video alone. Carmen says in the last year, her hospital bills started to grow, so Liz started a GoFundMe, and by the end of just the first day, the $10,000 goal was met. Now it's up to $127,000.
Thank the people that have done this for me. I mean, it couldn't come at a better time.
So at first, Carmen thought Liz's efforts were some sort of fraud, but now, look at that. They are good friends, have a special connection, and so many people responded to the call for help to let her have a break, right? Very happy. Still ahead, we know it's the thought that counts, but some holiday gifts come at the bottom of most people's lists. We're going to look at the worst choices making that list once again that maybe you should avoid. Coming up.
CBS News Bay Area, powered by KPIX. Get closer to the big stories, breaking news, and weather live as it happens. Stream the local team you trust on the CBS News app and on Pluto TV.
Coming up at 5, President Biden says he wants to cut homelessness by 25%, but do Bay Area advocates think that's possible? We'll have their reaction tonight. And you know, with less than a week to buy those last-minute Christmas gifts, the parent company of e-commerce Giant Wish is revealing some of the worst holiday gift items. According to a survey of more than 6,000 people in the United States and Europe, defective items bought at discount, those are the least popular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame them with that. And then fruitcake, obviously, that makes it every year. And then weight loss items like workout equipment, not so good. But it's the thought that counts, right? And in the survey, nearly 80% of Americans believe they are good, showing fake enthusiasm even when opening bad presents. I'm not so good at that.
No, my grandfather loved fruitcake.
Did he?
That's something he actually wanted.
Yeah, my grandma made it too. It must be a generational thing.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I grew up in the Depression. Just like, hey,
throw it all in.
Yep.
All right. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is next. More local news streaming on 24/7. CBS News Bay Area. We wish you a great afternoon, and fruitcake if you like it.
Sure.
Tonight, the new criminal charges recommended against Donald Trump: obstruction, conspiracy, and the one charge that could prevent him from holding office ever again.